Hello everyone. As part of Popped Cherries being 1 year, I decided to give back to my listening community. That is, reach out to entrepreneurs I know who listen to my podcast and give them the opportunity to talk about their businesses on the podcast. Today I have here in front of me two very beautiful ladies who are hustling, in quotes. The Ghanaian term for hustling. What does hustling even mean? They are trying to make a living by doing things we love doing or doing things on the side, aside our basic jobs. So as a hustler, we term it entrepreneurship, and we have Christabel here. Christabel, her business is Yadelle's Closet.
Yadelle's Closet.
And we have Diana, which is DT Enterprise. Did I get that right?
Perfect.
Okay. Hi, ladies. It's nice to have you on the show, and it's nice to be in your presence and have you talk about what you do. So I'll start with Christabel. You are looking beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Your dress, your hair band, it's really lovely.
So
what's the inspiration behind your business?
Okay, so I'm Christabel again, Christabel Jewa.
Okay.
I'm in charge of Yadelle's Closet. So I think even before I would remember, I've always liked fashion. I've always wanted to design. So that's been it for me. It's not really much of a story, but then I just love fashion. I just love to create something, see it on someone, and the person is just looking perfect. So that's been it for me.
Okay. When did you decide to go into the business, venture into the business side of it? Aside you just liking it, when did it come up that, okay, I can do this for other people to wear?
Okay, so I think it was last year, yes. Last year after NSS, I was just at home doing nothing. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to do fashion, but then it wasn't time for me to do. I still wanted to continue with my school, go into do my master's, so that's what I wanted to do till I saw Greece Life. They came along and I realized that this is really what I want to do. I'm ready for this. So I went into fashion school last year, and this year I decided to start a business. Yeah. So I started this year.
Okay. Now moving on to Diana. I can't compliment your dress because I was complimenting Christabel so that we look at her dress, but you're looking good, by the way. Can you tell us about DT Enterprise, how it came up? And I know it's a registered business because you made sure to let me know that it is FDA approved. So for the benefits of our listeners and the viewers, FDA is Food and Drugs Board, right? Authority, Food and Drugs Board Authority approved. Okay, so tell us more about your businesses.
Okay, so I did business in the university, and beyond the theory side of it, I wanted to practicalize most of the things I read. Okay. So fortunately for me, I did my national service with NBSSI, formerly, now Ghana Enterprise.
Okay.
Yes, agency, now Ghana Enterprise Agency, and I had an opportunity to work with a number of businesses. Actually, GA's mandate is to regulate the small-scale businesses in Ghana.
Okay.
So during my 1 year national service with them, I worked on a JICA project where I was stationed at Tema, and I worked with a couple of industries there. So I got like a first-hand practical experience of how it looks like to run a business, just a little bit of knowledge about how businesses work. So it sort of ignited in me a passion to do something on my own. I mean, I've read in school. This is time for me to put forth something. So I decided to go ahead and register my business and then move forward to get my products certified by the Food and Drugs Authority. So that's how Perfect DT Enterprise came about. Okay,
so I was talking to a lady entrepreneur previously, and she mentioned that the first thing, I asked her what is the first thing she would want to let entrepreneurs know, is to register their businesses. So from the educational side, why do you think it's necessary that we register businesses when we are new out there? Or why are you placing a lot of emphasis on the fact that your product is registered and then is FDA approved? What do you want us to know?
Okay, so I want to go global. I want to go big.
Okay.
And one way of doing it is like going through the formal registration process, because if you want to attract investors or certain kind of angel investors, they want to see your paperwork. Okay, so are you formally registered? Is your product certified? I mean, what will make your product unique from the others? So I just wanted my brand to have a name and to also be formalized. That's why I went ahead to register it. And moreover, at that time too, it was quite affordable to register your business. So
I still think it is.
yes, it is. So I went through the process. And also, there are now a lot of agencies that are helping startups to register their business. Take, like, for instance, GEA, Ghana Enterprise Agency. I think people don't know a lot of the things that they do.
This is my first time hearing about it.
They can actually help you go through the process of registering your business. And I know GIZ also started a project in partnership with another consult where they also help businesses to register. I think I even shared the flyer some time back. So I think now the processes have been made easy for you to formally register your business at the Registrar General. And also another reason is because for instance, if you register your business, nobody can use that name. So
that's true.
Get it
becomes your name.
Your trade name.
Okay. So in what ways can the GEA help you? How do you locate them? How do you reach them if you're a new business? In what ways can they help you with the business registration?
So fortunately, GEA is in all the districts in Ghana.
Wow.
Yes. They have business centers spread across Ghana.
Okay.
They have their head offices in Accra, all right. But then through their business centers, which are in almost all the districts, you can get the opportunity to go there. You pick a form, you register as a member, and then any form of assistance that you need, they help you go through it.
Okay.
So, for instance, in Accra, aside their head office, they have a regional office, and they have the various DACs. They have at Adenta, have at Medina, have at Masaman. I mean,
so you just, wherever you find yourself, yes, you just locate them, and then they go ahead and help you.
I think the first place to start is they have a website, so you can go there and pick their customer service line and then contact them. They'll direct you to the next place.
If you want to get registered and you don't know how to go about it, you could just go on their website, GEA, and then you take their customer service line. So is this for free or it goes at a cost?
Okay, so you register to be a member, but it's subsidized. I think the last time I checked, it was 50 cedis. And aside them helping you with the registration process, there are other benefits. For instance, they can give you technical advice. They do organize some training programs for their members too. So I mean, if you are part of them, you get to benefit.
You get quite a number of benefits. All right, so let's move on to the fashion industry, Christabel. With the fashion industry, we know that there are quite a number of fashion designers. It's not just you. What makes your product unique? What would want me to buy from you?
Well, with Yadelle's, it's not just the end product. Everything, the process means a lot to us. So talking to clients, getting to know them, what they are into, what they are about. We don't just, some people would come and be like, oh, I want this, but we also advise you if this is truly okay for you, because you don't want to end up on IG with what I want and what I got. So we have to advise you, let you know that this will work for you. Then after everything, we still talk to you, get to create that relationship, that bond, even after we've provided our service. So that's it.
So basically a good customer experience. You engage the customer from the beginning of the product to the end. Yes, and make sure that it's not just what they say they want, but what is good for them.
Yes, what's good for them.
And then how do you go about advertising your product? How do you get people to know more about you? And yeah, your brand.
For someone who just started, I rely mostly on word of mouth.
Okay.
So if you sew for someone, the person tells the other person, then it keeps going. That's how it is right now for me. But then I also use Instagram, then Twitter and Facebook, and also WhatsApp. So social media platforms. Yes.
Diana, yours is quite different. Yours is liquid soap, which is not even close to the fashion industry. So, in what way do you market your business?
Okay, so basically via WhatsApp. But then I noticed because of how the product is, it's better to get into the market space. So I was able to liaise with a friend who has a shop in town, and he takes the product and he sells it.
Okay. So, for you, you have to be in the market because of the type of product it is. But I also have the same question I had for Christabel. It's liquid soap, and there are lots of people who do it, and it's not so unique anymore. So, how do you make sure you sell? How do people get to buy yours aside the many we have on the market at the moment?
Okay, so back again, the fact that it's FDA approved. Yes, so that is my number one drive. I use that to get into the space, and I also friends. So friends and families help a lot. Like, and fortunately for me, where I get like in the market space where I sell it, the person is very interactive and he has a lot of market women around him. So he does an informal form of advertisement for me, and we are able to get people to buy.
So what quantities are we looking at? Is it on a wholesale basis or on a retail basis?
Okay, so both. So if you are interested in wholesale or retail, we can
then you do both and you sell them out there. Okay, so do you do this liquid soap yourself?
Yes. But then I trained my mom too, so she also helps. Yes.
Okay. You mentioned you do other things aside the liquid soap. So from what I know, there's also someone who works for you. That's a motorbike.
Yes.
So, how does that work? How do you go about that?
Okay, so there was this time I was on a Zoom meeting, and then it happened to be hosted by a very popular Christian businessman called Paul Mante. I think he's the MD for EDC. He's quite popular. So some of the things he said, like businesses to watch out for, he talked about transportation, and for me, I think he's right. So I looked at, I don't believe in having just one source of income. Because like you never know when you need money for other things. So a cousin of mine was into a motorbike business where she purchased a number of motorbikes for people to ride, and then like they render accounts to her on weekly basis. So she told me about it, and then I had some funds, so I decided to go into the business. So I have a guy who works for me, and then like it's sort of a source of living for him because that's the only work he does.
So he pays you.
Yes. So at the end of every week he renders accounts. Like he's expected to return some amount of money, like during a particular period of time. So he gives an account on a weekly basis.
Okay, so I see people doing this with Uber and also with delivery services. But I realize with the delivery services, people have issues of delivery guys leaving, quitting the job. There's this delivery service I work with, and now almost every time when we call for pickup, their delivery guy is sick or they don't have one, they are trying to get one. And it's also an issue of transportation. It's also an issue of someone working for you. How sustainable is this kind of business right now? Because now we have a lot of delivery services, and then when they are tired, the delivery guys want to go or go and buy their own motorbike. So how sustainable is something like this?
Okay, so firstly, it's about the person. You need to find someone you can trust. I say that like people have crazy ideas, but it's about who to share those ideas with. it's not easy to get someone to share in your vision and to run it the same way you want it to be. So, fortunately for me, I got a good person and we have a contract. So,
Okay.
yes, I
A
think it's
signed
good.
contract?
Yes, a signed
Okay.
contract. And you have a witness. The person brought a witness. So,
Oh.
I think what most people can do is to, number one, get someone you can trust. Two, somebody who is a little bit educated, who can at least read and write some basic things. So you draft a contract, you both sit down and agree on the terms, and then you have one witness each, and then you formalize it. I think when the person, you don't want to keep the person, all right, but then if it's a little bit formalized, the person knows that you are serious. And if he sees how serious minded you are, even when he thinks of quitting and he looks at, oh, these terms of agreement, we both drafted it, we both came into agreement, so then I'm still bound by it. It sort of helps.
Good.
But even though in some ways, some certain exceptions can cause termination, but then I think these things help. It helps.
Moving on to people working. Christabel, do you have people working for you?
Not at the moment.
So you do everything alone
All by
now?
myself.
Okay. So let's go down to going down and being on the ground and being all dirty. Do you go to get the clothes yourself, to get the accessories yourself? Can you give us a typical day when you have to make a cloth for someone?
So it depends on the client.
Okay.
So some people have everything together. They just bring it to you and you do it.
Okay.
But then if they don't have anything, you send the money for the accessories or the fabric. I go to Accra or whichever place I would get the stuff. Then I buy them, cut them, come back, cut them. If I have to do a pattern, I do everything by myself. So that's how a typical day is. Like I get up, I go to Accra, I buy the fabric, I come back and then I work on them.
Okay. So how profitable does this get? I mean, okay, let me ask, how frequent do you get customers, and then how profitable does it get?
Well, so far it's been good. As I said earlier, word of mouth. You sew for this person comes back, and the thing with sewing is that it's not somebody can come and ask you to sew like 5 dresses, 2, 1. So even if it's not really about the number, because if I'm sewing like 5 or 10 dresses, that's a lot, and I'm just one person, but it's still good. So yeah, it's good. It's very profitable. It's been helpful since I was at home after NSS and I wasn't doing anything. I would say this has been very, very good for me financially. So
Okay, so long term, for someone like you met the Grace Life Leadership Center that helped you to a point to build your dreams. But for someone out there who is sitting down, has this dream, and doesn't get something like the Grace Life Leadership Center, what can you advise the person to go on with? Should my dream die, or there are things I can do about it?
no, it shouldn't die. It should never die. I mean, I had the dream, but I was just there waiting for somebody to, tell me. Like, if I had not written the vision, I wouldn't know that, oh, this is what I'm capable of. So I think you should just get up. There are so many classes online that they are free, so many of them. So you just have to go online, search for classes, get a couple of, you can even go on Kiku. There are very cheap, how do you call it, machines, those hand sewing machines that you can, even before I go to fashion school, I was using my hand to sew most of my stuff. Yeah, so you don't really have to get everything together. You have to start small, then you get somewhere. You don't have to let it die.
Okay. Then back to you. You have quite a number of businesses, as you have already mentioned. So do you have a full-time job?
Yes.
And how do you manage between those businesses, accounting? I mean, for me, accounting is a big deal. Accounting, your finances, people working for you, and then your full-time job as a woman.
Okay. So I think today one of the words that I've heard a lot today is planning.
Yes.
And not just planning, but then strategic planning. So you have to plan. You have to plan. You have to do more. If you know where you want to get to, you do more. If people are sleeping 8 hours, you need to go more. So for me, I have a full-time job, and I won't deny the fact that it hasn't been easy, especially with the liquid soap, because I'm the same person doing it and I have to go to work. So usually I take the weekends and holidays to prepare it.
Okay.
But it's just about planning. So if you know your work takes so much of your time that you wouldn't get any other time to engage in other business, then take businesses that you don't really have to be involved in. You can get someone, and then maybe you could supervise from afar or something.
Okay.
And there are lots of opportunities. For instance, you could even teach online. You could have recorded sessions, and then people will watch, and that's it. That's your form of business. Or if you are very good with documentation, you could just prepare proposals, and then someone likes it. Oh, do this for me, do this. So you look at your schedule. If you think you are very busy and you can't engage in businesses where you are needed, then do something that wouldn't take much of your time, or something that you can supervise from afar. So that's how I get myself going.
I've learned so much from it, but let's look at Christabel's angle. Christabel and I think we both run businesses that inquire that you actively engage the customer. For instance, my bra business and Christabel's clothing business. Since someone is making an inquiry, and then now we are doing these businesses to a point on social media, and which now there's the need for active engagement. There's also the need for paying for sponsored ads just to bring more post visibility. What would you advise from the business point of view? Like, how do we manage businesses that we are running on social media?
Okay. So, firstly, Christabel mentioned something about courses.
Thank you.
Now, there are lots of free resources. It's about how you where you look, So, for instance, now digital marketing has become the ish. Like, I mean, I know Google is offering a free certification course in digital marketing.
Oh,
Yes. So my advice would be, like, even beyond the sponsored ad, which is good. Like, you could, if you have some time, you could take up like some courses to see how you could market your product. I know there are people I've been seeing on Instagram, people doing like maybe a 1 hour course on how you can use WhatsApp to grow your business. Yes,
wow.
even Instagram, they'll tell you WhatsApp business, Instagram business to grow your brand, and all these are for free. Yes, there are all these things you could get for free. So it's about me. I think if your business is social media, search deep enough. Like, there are free courses. See how other people have done theirs. Like my one of my boss's tenets is, if he gives you a work to do, he asks you, have you checked how people have done it? You say yes, but he said, how many? You say maybe two. No, go and check more. Check how 5 people have done it. Yes. So my advice would be, your line of business. Do you know anybody who does that kind of business? List about 3 or 4 of them. Go to their pages, see how, try to get a little information about how they run their businesses. If you get to see what they do, then you pick 1 or 2 ideas from each of these 4 people, you add your own, and then you use it to push your business. But even with the promoted ad, it helps to an extent, but well, that's just one part of it. But if you're able to go to know the different methods or mechanism people are using, I think it helps.
Okay. I think that was really insightful. That getting to learn more about digital marketing, what you can do to help it, and then another question I have with the digital marketing is payments. You know, I have these issues with customers where they'll be like, they'll pay upon delivery. So this is an issue where you are asking that I trust you, but you are not willing to trust me. And the moment you say no, you may lose the customer. So you have to close your eyes and say that okay, and hope that whenever, if the delivery guy gets there, they pay. I've had an issue where maybe the person goes and the product is rejected for a reason, and then they don't end up paying, but you may have had a fluid discussion where they had agreed to pay. So how do you go about stuff like that when it comes to the digital marketing?
Okay, so I know you are a very active person on LinkedIn. And you know LinkedIn is flooded with posts. Anyone and its posts, yes or no votes and all this.
Yeah.
So you know your customers. Like, how about you just do a little survey and ask them what their means of payment, what means of payment they prefer.
Okay.
So gather their thoughts. When you get their response, for instance, if majority would like to pay after they've received their items, try to know why.
Okay.
If and also propose maybe a 50-50, like maybe you pay 50% upon delivery, then you pay the rest of the 50. That way, once a little money is there, you know the person is likely not to reject the product because they've already made an input. So I think those are some of the ways that you can cut your losses.
Okay. Let's come back to Christabel a bit. So I want to know if you have like already made dresses that you give out. Let's say there are some pages like you see the style, and then so the person does not necessarily have to come to you. Maybe the person can just send you measurements, and then you reproduce the same stuff. Do you have services like that?
So as in the person seeing a style online, she contacts me, gives me the measurements. Oh, okay, yeah, I do. That's basically what I do. Okay. So you see something online, it's either sometimes, most of the times, I have to video myself showing how to take the measurements, because some people don't have the time to go to seamstress to take the measurements. So I video myself and I show you how to take the measurements. Then you bring me the measurements, then I do it for you. So mostly that's what I do. Or you go to your tailor for your measurements and you send them to me, and I reproduce it for you.
Have you had issues where people reject your work or say that it's not good, and how do you handle the experience in that regard?
Okay, it wasn't rejection, but one main issue I had was that because I do not have a place where people can come for fitting at the moment, that one is one of the most, if not like the most important thing, one of them, that after sewing, how to do fitting.
Okay.
So what I do is that these days I go to we meet at a convenient place for the clients, and then I do fitting with you. But if you are not able to, then it means that you have to do the fitting without me.
Okay.
And every other fashion designer would have to do fitting with you. It's very, very necessary. So sometimes the person comes for it, the person is busy, or I'll do everything all by myself. She checks it, and probably the waist doesn't fit, and then we could just alter it. The person sees, if the person is a bit fussy about it, then it just blows up. Oh, my waist doesn't fit, why doesn't it fit, or that kind of stuff. But so far I haven't had anything like
rejection.
Yeah.
I realized I never really asked what you do, like what you are into. So is it for male and female, like with the dresses? Do you do wedding gowns? You do everything?
Okay, so I sew for both men and women.
Okay.
So with the men, mostly kaftan.
Oh,
yes,
that's nice.
And with the ladies, almost everything. You just have to contact me and we'll see the arrangement.
So we could do wedding gowns, engagement dresses.
So for now, I'm not doing wedding gowns. Okay. I'm not doing engagement dresses. But then, if it's not wedding gown, if it's not wedding engagement dress, you can just contact me.
Okay. So in the future, say in a year or two, what are the plans for Yadelle's Closet?
Yeah, a year or two.
Am I pronouncing it right?
Yadelle's Closet.
Yadelle's Closet.
Right now, I'm working on coming out with a line. I don't know if I should be giving out the gist yet, but I'm coming out with a line. So I'm praying that by the end of next year, it will be out for all body sizes, and it will be mostly for women. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Like a clothing line?
Yeah, clothing line.
Okay, I think that's amazing, right? All the best with that.
Thank you.
Diana, what about you? I think I have an idea of who you want to become, a business guru,
Yeah.
taking all over Ghana, taking all over the world. Is that the case?
Yeah. In fact, you saying that and she saying she wanted to come out with her own line reminded me of something. What did you think Malcolm was known for? Malcolm.
Cheap things.
Yeah. And then we would think that
Everywhere Ghana goes or
yeah,
something. They had a tagline.
exactly. So then maybe food items and maybe appliances and stuff. But then recently they just launched a new clothing line.
Malcolm?
Yes, Giordana. Yeah, like Malcolm. So now, in fact, there's no limits. You can go anywhere. So Malcolm is going into that space. And I also heard sometime that I think they acquired Pizza Hut too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
So the
Malcolm owns pizza.
Yeah,
Wow.
sister.
Mhm.
So now it's moved away from just home appliances and
To
then
pizza and
to pizza to clothing line, and I mean I'm sure maybe they might even go into telecom, who knows. But for me, I'm looking at doing something that's in line with the soap business. So I was looking at a laundry and then maybe a cleaning company in the next years, because it's linked. So then my products will just supply like those. It just feels for the other two business, so they are linked.
Okay.
And I think that's some of the things that I want to do. Aside that, I'm also passionate about farming too. So, and yes, I had wanted to start a farming business with a cousin and a friend, but the person who was an accurate person, we had to go to school, so we had to boycott the idea. But we'll go back to it because I mean we need to grow more food. we are 31 million, so
we need more food for the population. It's exciting that we have ladies venturing and then you stand out as role models to ladies growing up, women growing up, that see you can also make it. You can put in time, you can put in effort, you can put in education into some of the things you want to do. I think you mentioned going to fashion school at the moment. Yes. And it's something how to, but now you're learning to add more knowledge to it to get better. So this is one thing that the youth or women today should not give up on, the fact that it doesn't get bleak. Okay, maybe it does get bleak, but you can still work around it. You can still make it. You don't have to go the bad ways. You could still go the good way, and God is going to support you. People will support you at the very least.
You saying the women thing just reminded me. So there was this MasterCard reporting, and they realized that the top 5 countries with a lot of women-owned businesses, Ghana was part.
Yes. Oh, that's interesting.
Ghana was part. So that means women are already doing a lot in Ghana. Like women own a lot of small businesses in Ghana, so there's no limit for us.
I think if you go on IG now, it's one business or the other. You get business pages texting you on WhatsApp. They want to buy something from you. They also own businesses. So it's not like a community of businesses. So, okay, then let me just zoom into like your final words before you leave, for anybody who's going to listen to this podcast or watch this YouTube video, especially young ladies growing up, being an inspiration to them. What would you like them to know from you? I'll start with Christabel.
For me, I think just like before I started, I was very, very scared. What ifs were many? Like, what if it doesn't go well? What if they don't accept what you are bringing out? A lot of what ifs. But just like John C. Maxwell said in one of his videos, he was like, forget about motivation, just do it. Don't wait for anybody to motivate you. Just do it. Get up and do it. So I feel like you should just do it. At least see how it goes. So fear is overrated, I think. So just get up.
And I also think like you're always going to be scared.
Yeah.
All the time. So you still should just do it.
You still should just do it. Yeah.
I think we are doing Nike here right now. Let's move on to Diana. What would you want to say for your final words for any lady watching you?
Okay. So I just noticed that there's Christabel and there's Dinah, and in the alphabet C and D. So, so that's just by the way. So there's this quote I read somewhere that says that the next best time, it said the best time to have to start a business. It's like 20 years ago, and the next best time is now.
Oh.
Yes. So you probably might have missed out on some chances to have done something. Maybe you wish you had started 2 years ago. No, it's true. Malcolm started every day enjoying, but then Palace Mall is catching fast. Other businesses too are catching fast. You all get your share. So I just want to tell everyone that you probably wanted to start 2 years ago. Time has passed. It's not too late. The next best time is now. You can still start. There's a lot of room for you. Even when you come, you thrive. Just follow the best practices. Just pray. And I also want to tell us, our listeners and then the viewers, of course, that I read a lot, like surf the internet. It's not always about going to watch someone's wedding or something on IG, but go for some business news. For instance, me, I go to LinkedIn every day, like at least 2 or 3 times in a day. I don't want to miss one story at all. That's it. Like the more you know, the more you're able to see what's happening and you're able to apply it. Like, I mean, these businessmen, these rich men that we admire, they all started somewhere. Even though some were privileged to have come from a rich family, they also had to put in some effort. So, like, you could see that they were from a rich family. Their parents made sure they go to certain business schools or like toe a particular line to acquire the knowledge. Maybe your parents don't own a business yet, but then you can make that difference. You can also look at what these people have done. The internet has given us a lot of information. I can be in Ghana. I can get the opportunity to know how someone runs their business in the US because now we are privileged to have these resources online. And then there are a lot of, when you go to LinkedIn is filled with a lot of webinars on starting a business, doing this. Like, just make time to listen. You can pick 1 or 2 things from it. And now we have Clubhouse. Fortunately, Clubhouse is not only for iPhone users. Android users can now come on board. Enter random Clubhouse meetings. Like, you listen to what business people who have done it, listen to what they have to say. And I bet you, like, knowledge is not just in one person. As you hear from multiple people, it helps you to formulate your ideas and you're able to even come out much bigger and much better. And I know this because the Bible says, "For lack of knowledge, my people perish." So the more we acquire this knowledge, the more we are able to go out.
Okay. So let me have your contact details, just in case someone wants to reach out for Yadelle's Closet and also for DT Enterprise. Yeah. So let's start with Yadelle.
Yeah. So for Yadelle's Closet, you can follow us on IG and Facebook at Yadelle's Closet.
Okay.
And yeah, you can also contact me on. Can I give out the
Yes, sure.
You can contact me on 050-566-9108. Yes.
Okay, can you take the number again?
Okay, 050-566-9108.
Okay.
Okay, so lovely. Thank you for an opportunity to sell ourselves. Okay, so I don't have business pages yet because I told you I have to actually go to the market space because of my style. But then you can contact me on 05474383555. I'll repeat it: 05474383555. And not just for liquid soap, but then for some form of business I advise I'm ready to help.